Yeah, it goes late nights on the road.
Guys, the Ocean Flight 111 heading straight to full potential with zero delays. And we're back again for another podcast of One Step at a Time. One Step at a Time. Guys, right now, if you're listening, if you have this on video, then you can see I'm currently in Dubrovnik, Croatia. Nathan, where are we again? What's the area called?
This is Malini.
Malini.
The Croatian Riviera.
We're in Malini, the Croatian Riviera. Malini, to be specific. We got here Sunday night. Yeah, we got here Sunday night, and we're back there, leaving again tomorrow. So it's been like a little quick trip. But yeah, I guess this podcast, I just want to, because it's a while since I traveled, because obviously for all last year I was living, for the bulk of last year, should I say, I was living in Spain, so I wasn't really doing much traveling apart from living in a country, and I just want to do a couple of things of kind of maybe what I've learned in this trip, and some things that stood out to me, and how important it is that you travel and you meet new people and you meet new individuals and characters, and they teach you so much about who you are and whatnot. So a little update of whatnot. The last couple of weeks has been probably hit a little bit of a update. Guys, we're gonna do an update. That's update, OPDATE. Shout out to Slexia in the house, motherfucker, bitch. Yeah, shout out to Slexia. So yeah, the last couple of weeks have been good. Been doing a lot of content with the podcast. Had some good guests on. That's been good. Positive feedback. Just really trying to upgrade everything and improve and really sharpen my sword with the skills of this. And also, I dropped a J. Cole 7-minute drill remix, which I was so happy about. That was the first time I recorded something the day of. Wrote it, recorded it, did a light mix. The mix wasn't bad, man. And then put it out on YouTube that night. First time I ever did that, because that's something I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to improve the execution of my art and my craft, because I'm a very creative person. But creativity is nothing without execution. You know, I'm a big believer in that. You need to really execute. For me, that's making it, finishing something and putting it out. For someone else, that might be just making something and finishing it. But for me personally, in my crafts, it's making something, having the idea, making it, finishing it, sometimes perfecting it, and then releasing it out into the world and pushing it. And that for me is the definition of execution when it comes to my art. And also, I just felt I was in full flow when it comes to writing. Sometimes I forget I've put in so much work, and I've become so sharp with my tools. Often I forget that I'm a great lyricist and a great artist. Because, you know, when you don't make art sometimes for a week or two, your brain starts going, hey, am I any good? I guess that's just the insecurity of being creative, I guess. But I forget that, how sharp my sword is, because I put so much work in. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about doing something you love. That it doesn't feel like work. Over the years, I've put so much work into writing and making music and doing content, but it never feels... it feels like when I go to do it and when I go to execute and I go to be creative, it does feel like it. I'm like, yeah. And when I think of how far I've come, I definitely feel like I put in a lot of work. But you also don't feel like you put in any work, because the first time you go to write, it feels like it's almost the first time again. You have the experience, but the freshness, the freshness and that clean slate and that brand new horizon of art, it just always feels in abundance. It never feels like there's a limit. And I think that's when you're really in the center, you're really in the center point of creativity. It feels like there's no limits. It's nothing but abundance on your horizons. So that's just a little bit, about how I'm feeling in the flow with art at the moment, and just creating, and just getting my confidence back with making music, because you need, I'm a big believer, I chatted about it in the episode of confidence, but confidence is a skill. And just when it comes to being out and chatting to people, same with making music. The more you do it, the more confident you get. The more preparation, all that work is preparation. You know, people, when opportunities come up, you've done the preparation by yourself, be it that a painter, or be that like a piano player, be that a rapper, an artist. You do all that preparation when no one's looking. For that one moment you get that opportunity to take it. And also in opportunities with music and art and whatnot, I've missed a few this year. There's been a few opportunities I've let like slide between my fingertips, like really big things, that I don't regret not taking them, because I definitely need to learn from them. I think I need to learn when I have a lot on my plate how to handle that. Because I'm not very good yet at handling when there's a lot on my plate. Like, I still get stressed out a bit too easily, especially when you're trying to build a business with Excel and doing music and podcasting and trying to be healthy and just life stuff, trying to juggle everything and make sure you're giving your best you can at these things. It can be very tough, especially when one, like, I'll give an example. Like, the business might be doing well, so let's say we did in the month of February, I think we did 65 million views across social media accounts. Incredible. But at the same time, a podcast episode didn't do well. So you're like, one's doing this, and then you're trying to figure out, how do I get this podcast episode to do better? Or the business is doing well, the podcast is going well, but I haven't made a song in 2 weeks. So it's like, how do you manage that, and how do you manage yourself with your expectations in order not to not put yourself down and scrutinize yourself or beat yourself up? So that's kind of like the dilemmas I'd be kind of like juggling and stuff. But I want to touch on gratitude that I learned on this trip that will be in conjunction with that stuff. But yeah, it's definitely a tricky one, and the skill of multitasking is something I still haven't perfected, and I would say I'm very poor at multitasking. My friend Nathan, I'm here to shout Nathan Sheridan. Shout out Nathan Sheridan. Why? Because he's Nathan Sheridan. As you know, guys, Nathan's one of my best friends, and he gets a lot of shout outs on the pod. And I had him on the podcast. I might get him actually for the second. Might put him out yet for the second part of this. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with like my multitasking and stuff, and just getting grips on getting a grip on it, and also with family too, making sure I'm giving back to myself, because I seen something very well, how could I word this now? I seen something very authentic and true that Russ said, about just hustling is giving back to hustling is hustling for your soul, hustling for your spirit, hustling at your work. Like, hustling isn't just work. Hustling isn't just your job. Hustling is putting in work. So be that for your body, you're hustling, you're putting in work, you're grinding for your body, you're grinding, putting in work with your family to have like that beautiful time with your family, that special, precious time. I really want to use the word precious. I think precious is a word that I'm going to use it a lot more often. Precious, how precious these things are in our life. How precious and gifted I feel to be able to be out here doing this podcast right now and be surrounded with one of my best friends, and such a gift to be able just to feel my body. And I still have my knee injury, but I was walking down there this morning just by the sand, and just had my feet, I was listening to Mike and I had my feet in the water, and I had a tear in my eye because I reminded myself like how powerful it is that I'm here. Because I said to Nathan, we were walking into Dubrovnik. Was it yesterday or the day before? Yeah, it was Monday. We were walking in the centre of Dubrovnik, just outside Old Town, and there was a gate, like a gate beside the ocean, and it had all the locks on it. And this is actually the first time I said this on the podcast. I think I will delve into this more in the future, but it's so sensitive we're putting this type of information out there that at the right point I'll speak about it. But I'll kind of dip into it a little bit. We were walking Dubrovnik, just up a hill, and there was like a gate, and there was like all locks on it. You know, like locks, people put lock and a little message on their lock, like a padlock. And I was going through them, and it was really interesting looking at all the different padlocks and memories and stuff and people's names. And I was flickering through them, and one got my attention, crossed my eye, and I looked at it, and it said the 23rd of the 11th, 2015. Now that weekend is a very important weekend of my my life, my journey, because that was the weekend that I had a mental breakdown, and I almost took my own life. So, yeah, wow, quite mad seeing that. And just stand there like them numbers, because I do believe in the universe. Hey, shout out the universe doing this thing for me. So yeah, to see them numbers, very specific numbers that weekend, like it's a very specific weekend, the 23rd of the 11th, 2015. So to see them numbers was quite a reminder of, wow, I'm really here. I'm really am grateful to be making memories like this, when at once upon a time I wasn't going to do it. Like once upon a time I was about to leave the planet and go to the next realm. But it's not ready. I'm not ready for the next realm yet. I got too much living to do. I'd be thinking about the next realm, and I'd be thinking lots of, because everyone has their own definition of what the next realm is. For some people who don't believe in anything, it's nothing. For maybe religious people, it's heaven or whatever. I like to believe like the next realm for me is just energy and going out into the universe, and I'm a big believer in that. I really do think that like we are spiritual beings. The way I think about it, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, but the physical experience here is so important. It's imperative that we really grasp this physical experience while we're here, because we're here to enjoy it. We're here to make the most of it. We're here to learn. We're also here to have pain, and what pain teaches us. And what 50 Cent is the line, joy wouldn't feel so special. The sun wouldn't feel, I'll paraphrase it, but the sun wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for rain. Joy wouldn't feel so special if it wasn't for pain. It's because it's true. But so I truly do believe like the next realm is something we can't even fathom, and something that we'll take our learnings from here into the next realm, and whatever that may look like in your opinion, or wherever you're listening to this. So just bring it back to the gate. Me and Nathan beside the gate were all the locks, and I looked at the lock, and as I said, it said the 23rd of the 2015, that weekend, and I just kind of like went woof, like wow. I said to Nathan, I was like, oh Nathan, these numbers are actually the weekend that I almost took my life or whatever. And he was like, I'm glad you didn't. I think he said that. Nathan, did you say that? Yeah. And I was like, Nathan, I'm glad I didn't too. Then we just laughed. So yeah, that was something. But yeah, so far it's been a trip. It's been mental. So shout out Davin. When we landed, our friend Davin had a taxi driver that he knew that picked us up. Shout out Pavo, great guy, really great guy. And yeah, he just dropped us off, and that night we went wandering down here. As you can see, for those who are listening, the view is absolutely tremendous. It's like something out of a movie script. It really is. So yeah, we went wandering. The first night we just went wandering, trying to get some food. We couldn't find any food. We ended up getting, actually, here's something. So the first night we were wandering, trying to find, it was like 12 at night. We stopped in the bar, couldn't get anything. Then we went to this little bar. It was tiny, it was like a dive bar. I had a Coke, Nathan had a pint. Nathan, what pint did you have? Nathan doesn't know what type of pint. But anyways, we were chilling there. It was like a dive bar. And then Nathan was like, we'll go to the, because there's a 5-star hotel called the Sheridan across from us. Anyone, you can look up the Sheridan in Malini, Dubrovnik. And Nathan was like, oh, we'll go in here and we'll see if there's any vending machines. And I was like, Nathan, what are we going into a 5-star hotel for vending machines? Come on, we need a snack or something. So we went in anyways, and we went for an old wander first round, because I'd never been in I'd been in a 5-star hotel, not in years. And then we were leaving, and a dude was at the desk, and I was like, oh man, you hardly know any places be open for food. And he was thinking, no. I was like, the gas station. And I was like, the gas station. So I give him a knuckle touch or whatever, and then we walked around and in the corner there's an open gas station. We got some snacks there and whatnot. So that was really nice. Got some snacks. Well, so just walked back, spent the night there, been in the pool a good bit, and then Monday we had a tremendous day. We were just walking around Dubrovnik, just really taking in everything, Old Town, and we were just walking. I think we did like 17,000 steps, and we were just walking in, taking it around the culture. It was lovely. The sun was beating down. There was a lovely moment where there was like these like doors, little cabinet doors that opened up through a window, and there was just a cat chilling there, and there was a little tin beside it saying, "Tip me, I'm a cat" or something, which was really smart by the owner of the shop. So the cat just chilling there in the sun in the little like open cupboard doors. So that was wonderful. Just went through the whole city, taking in the vibes. Lovely people. Got some food, and then we went outside, like, because it's like a castle. It's like the outside of Old Town. It was like a castle surrounding it, obviously to protect it years ago. And we just went outside of that, took in the beautiful views, sat, meditated. That was tremendous. Just walked around. We did so much walking. And again, that's one of my favorite things to do when go places. Like, I'm not like a big drinker or whatever. Just discovering and enjoying the adventure for me is what it's all about. So that was really terrific. It was really amazing. It was really a joyful experience. So yeah, we just did that for the whole day. Walked around, got some food. Nathan, am I forgetting nothing? Oh yeah, kayaking. So yeah, we did that for the full day. Then that night we went out. So we came back to the gaff. We walked around for the full day. Like nothing out the blue happened. It was just a wonderful experience, you know? You know when nothing crazy happens, it's just the whole experience is wonderful. It's just, you're in the moment. We met this guy called Kean, and we met Kean at the airport, and he was a cool dude. Shout out Kean. And then we were walking around, and who do we bump into? Kean and his two other friends that he just met at a hostel. Kean was just over from Dublin, just over by himself for the old adventure. So, yeah, we said we might see run into him, because we didn't get his Instagram. We said we might run into him, and then randomly we just ran into him, which was pretty cool because Old Town's a pretty big place. Well, it's not huge, but it's pretty big, so that was cool to run into him. But and then we came home, refreshed, whatnot, and went out that night. Guys, we went out that night, and we had a really good time. This is really important actually, this part. So we went to the Irish bar. Where else would you go? Irish bar. We went to the Irish bar. And I want to make sure my recording's going here. We went to the Irish bar, and we were chilling there, and we got some drinks or whatever. I don't drink much, but we did get some drinks. And there was these three in front of us. There was two girls beside us and three in front of us. And we were drinking. We were like, oh, we should probably go chat to someone or chat to these and see what the crack is. And then I was like, yeah, we should probably do that. But then for like 2 minutes, I started overthinking it. And I was like, wait. And then I started overthinking, should I go over and say hello? And it doesn't matter like if it's a girl, boy, or whatever. Like the minute you start overthinking something, you're like, oh. It's like the oil engine. Like imagine in your head, there's like an oil engine, like the overthinking machine. And someone says, put that on full throttle. And then the overthinking just, it's like starts spinning. So I started overthinking. I was like, oh, should I go over, whatever. And then I stopped myself. It's like I just pressed pause on the overthinking machine. And I just said, why am I overthinking this? And then I went over and we had a wonderful chat. And it was actually great because it was two sisters and their mother. And it was so funny because there were three different type of characters. There was the girl on the left was like adventurous. So like really like outgoing adventurous. Then her sister was like kind of more like shy, a little more timid. And a little bit more kind of mature, I think. And then the mother was like so shy. So the mother was just ultra shy, but they're all really lovely. They're from London and they're all really, really lovely, really wholesome. And they were over just on a family holiday together. And they go over, they do it every couple of months. And yeah, it was really, really sweet, really, really sweet. So we chatted them for a little while and then we left them. And then we went to the Irish pub next door. And then who did we meet but Kean? Kean, the guy we met at the airport. And they met that day too. And a bunch of them guys there for from the hostel and stuff, and all chilling there. And I met some really cool people there too, and just had some good chats, and just overall good experience. But the thing about meeting people is I wanted to chat about is something I do when I meet people is, and I'm going to do it right now on this podcast, just like as an example, because I think it's really cool. So when I meet somebody who I want to remember, I'll write in my journal. So I'll write their name and I'll write beside them things about them, so I'll never forget them. So I'm going to do an example here now. We'll do we'll do Cian, because I feel like that's a good example. So yeah, I'll do Cian. Shout out Cian. Right, so I'm going to do an example here. So usually I'll write the name. So just Cian. And then I'll think about things that'll make me trigger my memory. So I was like, funny dude, blonde hair. And I think where was he from? This is interesting because I'm trying to think of it as I do the podcast. Where is he from? Swords. Shout out Cian from Swords. Yeah, so he's a funny dude, blonde hair, from Swords. Met him at the airport as he was trying to find his bus to Dubrovnik, Old Town. Upbeat guy. What else do we have? Funny dude, blonde hair from Swords, upbeat guy. Yeah, seems like he has a good heart. Seems like he has a good heart. Good heart. Said he was here for the beer. So that's like a little example. Like that's like a short example of like when I meet someone. Obviously, if I get to know someone like or have a good conversation with someone, I'd write a bit longer or whatnot. Which other people I would write for that, but I won't mention that. But that's like an example, short example of somebody I meet and things I'd noticed about them, and just write in my journal, and then I just have that memory then forever. Like I'll visit this back when I'm 70 or something, and I'll look at that. Oh yeah, let's put Dubrovnik there beside him. And I'll just instantly remember that. Like I'll never forget that. So I like doing that with characters that I meet on my travels and whatnot, and people that stick out to me. Like, and sometimes people don't stick out to me, and I don't write them in. You know, I only write ones that stick out to me and that I think are cool. I think that have a lot to them. So that's just something about my journal and how I do that too, and meeting people. And yeah, we were out. Well, something interesting did happen. We were we met lots of lovely people, sweet people. But one thing did happen, and I do want to chat about it. We were outside, and let's give him. We'll give him a name because I don't want to give his real name. We'll call him. Let's give him a name. I don't know. Fucking no, not that. Jamie. Let's give him Jamie. So yeah, there we go. We met this guy called Jamie, and he's in a group. And he's fairly steamed, and Jamie was off the drink. He'd stopped drinking, and he was off the drink for, I don't know, he's off the drink maybe a couple months or whatnot, because I think he had issues drinking. And but he was drinking in the trip, and he was like, I think he kind of regretted drinking, but he was steamed anyways. And we were chatting or whatever, and we were chatting a little bit, and I think I got a cigarette off him. We were just chatting away, and then stopped chatting. That was it, like grand chat, like grand dude, nice dude or whatever. And started chatting to his friend. And chatting to his friend, one of the lads he was with, chatting to his friend. And Jamie takes off his jacket to give to his friend. And I was like, oh, nice jacket, Jamie. That's a very cool jacket. And he said something under his mouth, and he was and he gave the jacket to his friend or whatever. And I didn't take any notice of him. I continued chatting to his friend or whatever. And then that goes on then. Basically, we leave after then. And Nathan was saying that Jamie said he wanted to fight me. Said he wanted to fucking, I don't know, if he said he wanted to kick the shit out of me or wanted to fight me for no reason. I was like, why did he want to fight me? And I was trying to think to myself, what would it have been like? Because literally, we only chatted for about a minute. Oh, there's a wasp. We literally only chatted for like a minute. And then I was chatting to his friend. I was having a really good chat to his friend about pool because I love chatting pool. Like, I really love chatting pool to people in snooker. And his friend was really into pool and snooker. So I fucking love that. Like, I'm really passionate about pool and snooker. Like, I'm a big fan. Shout out Liquid Brazil. Shout out my boy Ronnie. Shout out the Murph too. Sean Murph. Great players. So I was trying to figure out what could it have been. Why did he all of a sudden want to fucking fight me or whatever? And then I was thinking, was it because I complimented his jacket? Because when I complimented his jacket, he gave me like a really weird response. And it wasn't anything I said previously. Like, trust me, like I did, like we just had a very brief, simple conversation. Like there was nothing of depth or nothing of like ambiguity. So yeah, I was like, I wonder was it the compliment? And I was thinking, damn, was it the compliment that he wasn't able to take that made him want to like fucking fight me? Because something I've learned is when you're anxious or you're dealing with anger or dealing with a lot of like concoction, a cocktail of issues, compliments are very hard to take. Compliments can be misinterpreted, or if you're a very insecure person, compliments can be like a very difficult thing to receive, to put into your heart, to see as a good thing. Like someone might compliment, like I'll give an example. An insecure person, I might say to an insecure person, "Oh, you have lovely hair." But if a person is super insecure about themselves, they might think, "Oh, does he mean that? Is he only saying that for a certain reason? Is he messing with me or whatever?" So I was thinking, was it the compliment of his jacket? Was that the reason? So that was a bit strange, and it just had me thinking a little bit. I was like, I was just curious of why someone, because obviously he did have anger. The dude had some things going on, but I hope he figures that out. I was only saying to Nathan that often when you meet people and you can see something's up, I often like to imagine them, what they're like what look like when they blossom. And like, not taking Jamie for example, just taking anyone, like people that I know that like are maybe stuck in a rut or haven't found their lane yet, so to speak, or their vocation. Imagine the type of person they were going to become when they do find that, and hoping that they do find that. So yeah, that's just something that I found from our night out in the Irish Bears in Dubrovnik. Highly recommend going to Dubrovnik. Highly recommend it. So yeah, that was that. The next day then, we went kayaking. And my God, for anyone out there who doesn't know, I've been dreaming of going kayaking my entire life. Shout out my friend Darren. He put up a picture, or I don't know, actually, I'd never told him this, but shout out you, Darren. He put up a picture of him kayaking years ago. I think it was like, going to say 2018. So that's what, 6 years ago. And I seen that and I was like, oh man, I'd love to go kayaking. So I had that in the back of my head for years. I was like, kayaking. And I feel like it's just one of them experiences that make you feel alive, make you feel like in touch with your being. Just being in the outdoors and nature and water. And Nathan was a little nervous. I was nervous too, I won't lie. I was a little nervous too, because I only learned to swim in September, guys. So like, and here us going out into the ocean now, if you can see behind me, so right behind me for those that are just listening, we went out there, so we were kayaking out there. We could see the house from here, see the house from when we were kayaking. But it was a wonderful experience. Like, we both had an absolutely tremendous experience. And yeah, we're just out in the kayaking. We had like the barrel of stuff behind us, like for other stuff, and we're just out kayaking by the coast, the Malini Riviera. So I thought, oh wait, is it called the Malini Riviera? Yeah, Malini Riviera. If you hear me shouting and don't hear Nathan in the background, that's... So I thought Nathan was messing, saying it was the Riviera. I thought he was just like the French Riviera, but then it actually was. So we were literally out there, and first of all, shout out any people who canoe or kayak. the amount of energy you need to move is absolutely bonkers. But yeah, we were just out there. We would stop and just take everything in, and we meditated, and that was amazing. And just the feeling of freedom, and the sun was hitting the ocean. Just the feeling of freedom, and the water was so clear. It was crystal clear, clear as day you could ask for. And the sun was right, the perfect degrees too. It was like 22. Now, unfortunately, Nathan did get sunburned. I didn't, because his shadow was blocking my legs. But unfortunately, he did get a bit sunburned. But hopefully he'll be right. So that was yesterday. That was just kayaking. That was amazing. Then we went to see if I can get this on now. Tabtat. Tabtat? Tabtat, yeah, Tabtat. Went to Tabtat, and Tabtat is James Bond movie spec. Got some food. Went for an incredible walk around it's like around the lake. It's almost like a lake. And yeah, just tremendous. Absolutely, I can't, like, it's hard to put into words how beautiful it was. Got some food, lovely pizza and chips, and got a nice drink. Watched a bit of the football highlights or whatever. And then after, got a hot chocolate. Nathan got a beer, and yeah, it was overall a wonderful experience. So yeah, that's just a few bits about my trip, whatnot, and I guess, what else did I want to kind of bring you guys into? Yeah, we were leaving. Here's something important. We were about to leave Tabtat, and this big guy, we were going to get an Uber, and this guy was, I'd say he was about 6'4", big guy. Name was Joseph, and he was saying taxi, that his friend would get us a taxi. And at the start, we were like unsure, because I think me and Nathan are kind of similar like that. We're like, if we're just being sold something, then like we're not listening. But I guess, like every great salesman, every great marketer, if you add some of yourself, or if you add something relatability, or if you add something that's just authentic when you're trying to sell something, then all of a sudden it's not a sales pitch anymore. It's like, yeah, we would love to do that actually. We would love to like help your friend, because they had a real good vibe about them. Joseph dude and his... Joseph was a bit intimidating at first, I have to say, because he was a big individual. He was a real big dude, and he had a strong accent, so he's slightly intimidating. But he was like, oh, taxi, wherever you're going, my friend will bring you. So sure, at first we were unsure, but then we started chatting to him. And we started chatting about Ireland, and started chatting about Croatia. And then he's talking about the place and how much he loves his village and whatnot. And then he mentioned the war, which was wow, because another taxi driver that we met too had unfortunately been in the war, and the way he spoke about it in the war in the 90s, early 90s, the way our first taxi driver spoke about it was like he had to jump out of a plane, it was you could tell, like, he never thought he'd be in the army, but he got called up to the army, and yeah, it was a tough experience for him. But Joseph, wow. So back in the 90s for wars, it's like, especially I know I haven't chatted about it much because it's such a sensitive subject, and I try to keep the podcast as positive as possible, but it is important to chat about these subjects. But he chatted about the war, and he was like 1992 or whatever the year he said, and he was like, victory. And like you could tell he went back to that moment. And he went back to that war of when he was ever, like, how he felt and at them moments. And it was quite crazy to see someone, you're looking at someone, and obviously they're there in the physical, but that moment where they just depart and time travel back to them emotions, them scenes, them pictures in their mind. So that was quite something. That's like I was imagining, because he went like this, he went victory. And wow, so that was quite an experience, and it kind of stayed with me. It was last night that it happened. And also the relatability. We got some friends. The relatability of Ireland and Croatia. Because Croatian people are really friendly, they're really bubbly, they're really helpful. And I think it could be to do with both Ireland and Croatia are two countries that had to fight for their right, I guess. And I think that may be too different, don't get me wrong, a lot of history, very different, very, very different. But that fight to be free maybe is something that may relate. Because obviously I'm not familiar with the history of both. I'm not knowledgeable enough on both, if I'm honest. I should be more knowledgeable on my Irish history. I will become more knowledgeable on my Irish history. But yeah, I think that relatability is a big thing between Croatian and Irish people. And both had to fight for their victory. So yeah, that was one hell of an experience. But today, just going to obviously filming this podcast. Going to get some food now and just enjoy it and make the most of it, because it's so important. And again, going back to how grateful I am and lucky and blessed to be able to do things like this, and I never forget that. I think if you're blessed and lucky enough to be able to do things like this too, then never forget it. Be always grateful. At one with gratitude. Guys, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. This has been another podcast. This has been another episode of One Step at a Time with your host, the Ocean Flight 111, heading straight to full potential with 0 delays. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this listen, and I hope you have a great day, and you're alive. Make the most of it, guys. God bless.
Yeah, it goes late nights on the road. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah, that's just how it goes these days.